Hey, 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 hey. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are tuned in for another episode of Excuse Me, I'm Speaking. Yeah, this podcast is being brought to you by yours truly. It is me, it is she. Call me Twinkle, call me She is Twinkle, call me Antoinette. As long as you're calling my name, that's all that matters to me. Yeah, there is so much to cover in this week's episode. This is episode 26. Buckle up because we are just about to zoom right on in. So, I wanted to start with something lighthearted. So, I'm going to start with the question of the day. The question of the day for today is: what song growing up did you sing that you had no business singing? Now, before I give y'all my answer, let me give you a little bit more context. So when I say you had no business singing it, that could mean several things. That could mean you knew that it was bad and you knew that if you got caught singing it, you was going to be in trouble. Or you knew that this song did not relate to your life at all, but you sang it with the utmost conviction. Or you sung the song, you thought it was innocent. Now you're an adult and you're like, "Oh, that means something totally different." For example, Candy Shop. I take you to the candy shop. Dun, 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 by 50 cents. He's obviously not talking about a candy shop and lollipops. Okay, when Lil Wayne talks about a lollipop, he's not talking about a lollipop. That's where I'm going with this question. So, what song did I sing that I had no business singing? It is funny but true. I sung the song "No Daddy" by Tierra Marie. If y'all know Tierra Marie, she's an R&B singer. She is most recently known for being a reality star on Love and Hip Hop. She used to date Ray J. Yeah, when I was younger, she had a music video out to this song called No Daddy. And she was like, I ain't had no daddy around when I was growing up. That's why I'm wild and I don't give a Yeah, I used to sing that song like that was my whole life. Meanwhile, I had a whole two-parent household. Okay, we went to church every week. Like there was never splits in this. Like those are both my actual parents. I was tripping, but I sang the song like it was my life because I channeled her character from the music video and I was swinging my hair and everything. Yeah, I was all into it. Like you couldn't tell me I wasn't the lead singer, okay? Yeah, I would love to know y'all answers to today's question of the day. Please send me your answers, your feedback to my Instagram at she is twinkle1, or you can also comment below on YouTube. I know y'all got answers, so don't hold out on me. I know that y'all was not 9 years old really living a gangster life, but singing Tupac songs, okay? Be for real with me. Anywho, yeah, moving right along into what I really wanted to talk about today, getting into the nitty gritty. One thing that I can say that I've learned in my healing journey is I've learned that you have to learn how to effectively process your own thoughts and manage your emotions. So, the first step to that is acknowledging your own feelings, your thoughts, your emotions. A lot of us will brush stuff under the rug with other people and be like, nah, I don't want to talk about it. But then a lot of us also ignore our own feelings and we pretend like everything is all good and it's okay, or I'm not going to trip off of that. I don't feel no type of way about it. Meanwhile, you really do, and you're not addressing it, you're not acknowledging it, so you can't even begin to process it to move past it. So, in processing your feelings and emotions, there are good days and there are definitely bad days. There are days where you almost wish that you were still unaware because then you wouldn't have to deal with it. And dealing with it means that you have to process it. You have to accept it and learn how to move forward and not be stuck in that place emotionally. So, with there being good days and bad days, along with that will come a plethora of emotions. Sometimes emotions can conjure up tears. So, me being the person I am, whenever I have a question, I run to good old Google. And I feel like if I had a question, there's thousands of other people in the world that have had the same question, and I will find reputable resources to be able to give me answers to my question. So that's exactly what I did with today's topic. The topic of the day, we're going to talk about tears, we're talking about crying, because it is something that is hidden a lot publicly in today's society, but it is our strength and it is not our weakness. And I definitely wanted to share that with you guys, especially if you are along for the ride in your own personal healing journey as well. So, the question that came to mind for me was, why do sometimes I feel the need to cry? And I know it's not just me. I know that there's millions of people out there, because I've talked to even my own people, and they've said, like, I don't know, I just feel like I need to cry. Like, I feel like I need to purge. I feel like I need to let it out. I don't even exactly know what all I need to cry about, but I feel the need to cry. If that's you, let me know. Like this video, comment, let me know. I know I'm not in this alone. I've felt that way so many times in life, and there is a reason why. And crying is good for you. So I wanted to share those reasons with you guys today. Okay. So, of course, I found all my information. It is medically reviewed, it's on psychcentral.com. There's an article on 8 reasons why we cry. So I chose crying as the first topic to discuss, simply because crying is the most natural response and reaction that every human being experiences from the beginning of life itself. Crying is not something that you have to learn, it's not something that's taught to you. You automatically know how to cry when you come out of the womb, because crying is a reaction, it's a response, it's your way of expressing an emotion. On psychcentral.com, it says that crying can occur when you're in physical or emotional pain, or when you experience an unexpected life event, such as a baby being birthed into this world. Now, the crazy part about it, when I was doing my research, I realized that crying was natural. It's something we all do, but it's also something that many of us learn not to do publicly or even in private the older we get, because life continues to happen. And sometimes the tears, you just seem like you're drowning in tears, and we teach ourselves to hold back and not cry. But is that good for us? No. And I've been guilty of that myself, and I wanted to be able to bring the resources with me on the pod today to be able to share with you guys. And I would love to hear your feedback as well. All right. So, before I get into the 8 reasons why we cry, I wonder to myself, why is it that we cry tears? Like, is there significance to tears? Because we don't cry blood, we don't cry sweat, we don't cry any other bodily fluid. We cry tears. So there has to be a science to that. And there is an actual science to it. Fun fact, there are 3 different types of tears that we can cry. The first tier, basal tears, those are tears that are continuously produced by your tear ducts to keep your eyes lubricated and healthy. If we have dry eyes, then we go get the artificial tears and we put them in our eyes. That's one of the reasons why we need actual tears, because that helps to keep our eyes healthy. The second type of tears are reflex tears. Those are the tears that are released to clear your eyes of irritants like debris and smoke. I used to be a contact wearer. If something got in my eye, or eyelash gets in my eye, or I scratch my eye with my contacts, or if you accidentally get dirt in your eyes, those are when your eyes start watering and tearing up, because your eyes are trying to protect itself. So that's why it's a reflex. Those reflex tears come into play. Now, emotional tears are different. Emotional tears, they flush stress hormones and toxins out of your body. And I will go into more detail with that once we get into the 8 reasons why we cry. All right, y'all got me? 3 different types of tears. Depending on the reason why you're crying, that's the type of tear that starts to well up in your eyes, in your body. Told y'all it was a science to it. So let's start with Reason number one why we cry. The first reason why we cry is to signal distress. On psychcentral.com, it says, this is often seen in babies and infants who don't have the words to vocalize what they need. They don't know how to communicate with their words, so they cry, and that's their way of telling you. But also for us, it could also be a way of signaling distress. If we're in physical pain, if you get hurt, you're immediately going to start to cry, depending on the level of pain, because that's also letting the people around you know, I need help. Can somebody go get help? Whether you need to call an ambulance or somebody needs to get a first aid kit, I am in actual pain. This is seen in physical form, but it's also seen in emotional form as well. So if you look into the eyes of a child and their eyes start welling up with tears, you know, like something is wrong. So you're like, did somebody hurt you or did somebody say something to you? That's your way of asking, are you in physical pain or are you in emotional pain? I need to help you. I want to do something about this. You wouldn't just walk around crying on a normal basis. So if you're crying, it's for a reason. You're in distress and I want to help you. Also, when you cry out of frustration, I know a lot of people, I've been that person myself. You can get really, really angry and your eyes start to water. They might even start to turn red. It's that automatic physical reaction because you're so upset and you're so frustrated and you're trying to hold those emotions in, but your body is telling you, keep it together, keep it together. You're mad, you're upset, you want to do something about it, you're in distress. That is another sign of a reason as to why you would cry. Now, number two, grief and coping with loss. So, on the website, it says that grief is one of life's inevitable stressors you will face at some point in your lifetime. Grief can be overwhelming and it can be challenging as well. Many people cry to express their grief, which is a typical part of the grieving process. Not everyone can cry when they experience a loss, and they may use other outlets to express emotions, such as journaling or joining a support group. Now, the next one, another reason why people cry is depression. It says depression is different than sadness, as sadness is an emotion and depression is a mental health condition. Let's make that very clear. Just because somebody is having a bad day or they are sad because a loved one has passed away or something major has happened in their life, that does not automatically mean that they have a mental health condition and that they are depressed. That is a common stigma that needs to stop immediately. It's okay to have a bad day. It doesn't mean you're depressed. Now, when you get stuck there for a long period of time and it's affecting your day to day activities, that's a little bit different. That may be an indication of something more serious, but that is something that people can go to their doctors or their licensed mental health professionals and they will get diagnosed. One symptom of depression is frequent crying. So, some people cry a little, some people cry a lot, some people cry a lot, a lot, a lot. If you're crying constantly, nonstop, it's affecting your day to day activities, then that may be a sign that there's something more going on in a way that your tears is trying to communicate to you that you need to get more help and do something different. It may be a more serious condition, such as depression. So, the next one, number four, is physical injury. It says when you're physically hurt or in pain, crying is a natural response. When you're in physical pain, your body becomes more stressed and releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Crying can release cortisol and help your body recover from the pain you experienced. Okay. So, that's a learning lesson for me because a lot of times people are like, why are you crying? That's not going to help anything. Let me get you some peroxide, some alcohol. Let's call a nurse. Let's get somebody. Your tears is not going to help you feel better. That's not doing anything. That's not necessarily true because even from the article, we see that your tears are actually allowing you to release cortisol. I don't know if it's a mental pain release, but it's helping you to feel better in the moment. So, number five, we cry to release endorphins. I got something funny to say with that. It says, if you feel better after a good cry, this may be because of a release of endorphins. Endorphins are feel good chemicals that can impact your physical and mental health. Yeah, now I have to pause for a second. I myself am a fan, an absolute fan of the movie Legally Blonde with Reese Witherspoon. Y'all know on that movie, they mentioned endorphins, and I just have to say it because since one of the reasons we cry is to release endorphins. On that movie, Reese Witherspoon, they were trying to defend this fitness girl and say that she didn't kill her husband. So Elle, the main character, she was like, I just don't think that Brooke did it. Exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people just don't kill their husbands. They just don't. Yeah, that was like my favorite part. I had to say that part. Okay, sorry. Back to the seriousness. Anyways, it says when you cry, your tears can also lower cortisol. Research suggests that one mechanism of crying that helps you self soothe is the release of endorphins, such as oxytocin and cortisol, which can help improve mood. So that takes us back to those emotional tears that we were talking about a little bit earlier in the pod. According to the American Academy of Ophthalmology, emotional tears can contain higher levels of corticotropic hormones, which stimulate the release of cortisol, the stress hormone in your body, which puts you in a rest and digest mode, helping your body relax after a time of stress. Which makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, whenever you cry or you have a really good cry, don't you feel a little bit better after you cried? Like, if you've ever had a crying session and it's just tears and tears, and it was not easy in the process, but once you get to the end of it, it's not like you're happy, but you're like, hmm, I'm a little bit calmer. Like, I feel a little bit better now that I got all of that out because you literally were releasing endorphins and you got into that rest and digest mode. Like, now I can breathe a little bit easier. I had to let it all out. Moving right along. Number 6, another reason why we cry is to express joy. Says crying doesn't have to be reserved for times when you are in physical or emotional pain. Expressing happy tears when you're happy is healthy as well. If you are like me and you love stories or you love the notebook or you see your kids and they're growing up or you see a friend or family member you haven't seen in a long time and you just want to cry, it's not because you're sad, it's because you're so happy and it's like, oh, you're literally making my heart smile. Like I want to cry. I'm getting emotional. That's because the literal emotional tears are starting to well up in your eyes. It is an automatic, natural reaction. So that is another reason why we cry. Reason number 7, we cry to connect with others. It says people tend to feel more empathetic to those who cry. A comprehensive research study of over 7,000 participants found that those exposed to faces with and without tears were more likely to support those with tearful faces. If you are like myself, I'm very empathetic as opposed to sympathetic. A sympathetic person can say, oh, that's so sad. I understand how you feel. That was really unfortunate. They're not going to cry with you, but they're going to understand how you feel. They're going to sympathize with you. An empathetic person is literally going to start having tears with you. They're going to be just as mad as you are. They're going to feel like it happened to them personally, and they are going to connect with you on a whole nother level because they're empathizing. So now those tears have become their tears as well. That is their way of connecting with you on a closer level. So, a lot of times when people cry, it's like you wanna give them a hug, you feel like they need some reassurance, you feel like they need some physical touch, some type of affection. There is obviously they're in distress, emotional distress, and they need to connect with somebody, and if they trusted you with their tears, then you feel like, "I need to do something about this." So that's another way of connecting with others. Now, the eighth and final reason why we cry is that it can help your eyes. Says crying has benefits for your eyes as well. According to the American Academy of Ophthalmology, tears protect your eyes, shielding them from dirt, debris, and irritants. Tears can help lubricate your eyes and protect them from bacteria. So, crying is a way to help ensure your eyes stay healthy. So, all in all, just cry it all out. Let it out. A lot of us try to keep it in, let it out. It is good for your physical health as well as your mental health. Now, something I really wanted to shed light on, especially in today's society, was the stigma that we have with men and little boys crying in today's society. That is not okay. Excuse me, I'm speaking, and speak out about it, because it's something that we've learned at a very young age and need to unlearn. We always have the statements of big boys don't cry, oh, tough it up, man up, suck it up. But then that's also teaching kids, little boys, and men all over the world at a very young age that it's not okay to express your feelings and emotions. And it's showing them that that's a sign of weakness. And that way they grow up suppressing their feelings and emotions. And those emotions are going to come out one way or another. So a lot of times they're expressed as anger, or they're not expressed at all. And so imagine if you're holding all of that in and it's piling up and piling up and piling up. A lot of statistics show that women live longer than men. Well, it's more acceptable for women to be emotional and cry as opposed to men. But maybe if men could let it out and they could cry a few more tears, then maybe their lifespans would exceed those of women around them. The National Institute of Mental Health reports that more than 6 million men are affected by depression in the United States every year. If we think of Twitch this past year, if we think of Robin Williams, and there's a countless number of other celebrities that were males, that they were dealing with their own issues. I just wonder if they were taught at a young age, or if they were shunned by society for really being vulnerable and expressing their emotions, if they were taught to not cry. Maybe if you just let it out, if you release, if you actually process those emotions, release those endorphins, you will feel so much better. Yeah, we have to get better as a people. And that's why I had to come on here and talk about this today, because holding it in is only making it worse. Cry it out. Now, if you're crying day in and day out, that is a sign you have to seek professional help, because there's something more that is going on. But you can't hold it in. Now, I know there's a lot of people that don't cry that much, and it's not saying like, hey, you need to cry once a month, every Thursday, or every third Thursday of every month. No, but have some balance. Like, life is about love and laughter and crying and ups and downs, but you got to have that crying amongst that balance, because that's another way of managing your emotions. You can talk it out, you can sing, you can go outside, you can scream, you can laugh, you can dance, you can go to sleep, you can do all types of things, but make sure you have a mix of things that you do and you release those tears whenever they need to be released. If you want to release it in your own time or around people that you trust, or a lot of people cry in the shower because nobody can tell you're crying in the shower. You can't even see your tears. If they're blending in, then it is what it is. Maybe the pressure of the water and the warmth of the water and your tears is just a moment for you, and you can release. Whatever you have to do, I urge you, let it out. You are not alone. We are all healing together. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that information with the pod today. I definitely hope that you got something out of it. I know that I did. The nerd in me was like super excited and read the whole article about 5 times. But if you want to check it out for yourself, that is on psychcentral.com, and it is called 8 Reasons We Cry. Let's get into the quick wrap ups since we were talking about tears. Let's go to the pregnant celebrity news first. Yeah, these two celebrities are no longer pregnant, and so I wanted to make their announcements. Yeah, Rihanna and ASAP Rocky. As I would say, Rihanna had a baby. It's a boy. Of course, we don't know what the name of the baby boy is, but this is their second child together. So, congratulations to her, as well as Serena Williams. She has had her second baby, which is a baby girl. This is her second girl with her husband just here within these last few days. So, congratulations to those two mommies. All right, moving right along. Now, on to Queen Bee. Have y'all been on social media watching these clips from the Beyonce's Renaissance tour? First of all, let me just say, I watched the tour for Blue Ivy. Okay. I know her whole little dance part that she comes on. It is all over Instagram, TikTok, even Facebook. I love Blue Ivy. I was a member of the Beehive, but I might have to join Blue Ivy's hive because they are showing her performances from the very first time she performed on tour, and now her confidence level has gone through the roof. Shout out to Blue Ivy, she be getting it. Yeah, I feel like I know those concert tickets were high, and I was not gonna buy a ticket to go, but luckily, I don't have to because there are so many videos on social media. I feel like I'm personally at the concert. Okay. There was a video with Oprah, Gail, and somebody else. Oh, Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mom, in the audience, and they were singing and dancing to the song when she was on stage, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is a whole vibe." Not that Oprah and her best friend and Beyonce's mama is at the concert kicking it. Okay. Yeah, I loved it. If y'all haven't got a chance to check that out, go see Blue's performance. There are a million clips out there. She is rising in fame, and you see all types of videos of Jay-Z watching like a proud husband and father from the audience. Yeah, I was happy for them too. So shout out to Beyonce. Moving right along, wanted to give you guys a quick update from the writer strike. Yeah, we are in day like 110 or 11 of the writer strike. They need to come to a common ground. So the writer's strike is between the Writers Guild of America and between the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. So basically, the writers are like, we're not getting paid enough money. Y'all are doing all of these streaming platforms and y'all are getting more money, but y'all not paying us enough money. If you realize a lot of TV shows, they used to go for like 20 episodes. Well, now with streaming platforms, they have like 8 episodes or 10 episodes. So for a lot of writers, their checks are getting cut really short because instead of being on a job for 9 months out of the year, now they're on a job for 6 to 8 weeks. So it's really cut short, and they're not getting a lot of residuals from their writing. And yet the studios are making more money because it's going out to more people, and the actors and actresses are making more money. But none of this would be possible without the actual writers. So they are on strike as of right now. They are less than 40 days from becoming the longest strike in history. So hopefully they reach negotiations sometime soon because a lot of your favorite shows and big movies that are supposed to be coming out this year and next year, they are now being pushed back to the end of 2024 or 2025 or even 2026. Yeah, the writers are important. The writers are obviously the foundation of the show. There's nothing for the actors to act. There's nothing for them to say without the actual writers. So hopefully they come to some type of resolution soon, and I will keep you updated. Now, last but definitely not least, the quote of the day is perfect for today's topic. The quote of the day was by a man named Glennon Doyle. It is, crying is good. It's organic baptism. It's how we submerge and then begin again. Yeah, I thought that was so fitting because it's basically like going under and feeling those emotions and letting it all out and then coming back up and being able to take a deep breath and be like, okay, I did it. It's done. I let it all out. I'm ready to move forward and I'm ready to heal. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been episode 26 of Excuse Me, I'm Speaking. Please be sure to follow me on YouTube at Twinkle's Take or type in She is Twinkle. Follow me on Instagram at She is Twinkle1 and send me your comments, your feedback. And until next time, I will see you guys soon. Bye. Love you all.